Ashley Cash. This Wednesday only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
The Channel 3 Storm Alert Team, weather coverage you can count on.
Okay, we're going to keep our Monday Smile theme continuing a little bit longer this morning because we have headed out to Smile More Orthodontics. We are at their Ottawa location, just right here at Ottawa Ringgold Road. Dr. Brad Jacobs has kindly welcomed us in. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, Julie.
It is a very appropriate name for your orthodontist's office, I think, Smile More, because first of all, when you smile more, that makes you have a happier, longer-lived life, generally speaking, and it certainly bolsters your self-esteem, and that's something I'm guessing that you see in the office every day with your patients, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing to watch the transformations, kids and adults alike. You know, we all see different things when we look at ourselves, and it's really fun to watch people go from kind of being timid and you can tell don't feel good about their smile to just beaming.
We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of kind of your business philosophy a little bit in a second, but as long as we're talking about what it does for your self-esteem, I think it's always been important. When we were growing up, you wanted a good smile. I think now, though, people are very, very aware of wanting a certain look in their teeth. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, all the time. You know, people come in, we're just inundated with people like you, great smiles, straight teeth, and people are very aware of their smile and what they look like, and I think it really reflects like how they feel about themselves if they do feel confident in their smile.
And what used to keep people away, maybe besides the length of time, you know, it is a commitment that you make when you come in and get braces, was the cost factor associated with it. We've come a long way since the 1980s when it would have been my turn, but your office specifically has this philosophy where you want to be very efficient, and that translates into savings for your patients, right?
Absolutely. You know, we really want to make orthodontic treatment as accessible to as many people as possible. And part of that, that hurdle or that obstacle for many folks is the cost. I mean, it's not cheap to get braces, and the reality is we understand that for a lot of people that's a big sacrifice. I mean, that could mean not taking a family vacation or putting off repairs on your home or your car in order to allow your kids to have the benefit of orthodontic treatment. And so what we've really tried to do here at Smile More is focus on being as efficient as we can at providing treatment so that we can reduce the cost for the patient. And that comes down to things that really don't affect our ability to provide the highest quality treatment. So, you know, huge fancy offices with granite countertops and big game rooms, none of those things really help provide better treatment for the patients. And so those are things that we try to not spend a lot of money on so that we can reduce our overhead and pass that savings along.
When you walk in the door, and by the way, they do have 4 locations. It's here in Ottawa, Cleveland, where you also are. There's a Hickson location, and the other one is in?
Athens.
Okay, so easy enough for you to access the one that's closest to you. I'm guessing they're all similarly decked out. So I walked in this morning, it's bright, it's cheery, there's obviously the smiley faces along the wall. Nothing about this seems like you're settling in any way, shape, or form.
Good, I'm glad you feel that way, and that's kind of our point, is we want to be very clean and professional. We want it to be, you know, a cheerful, happy place. We are creating smiles here, you know, so, but we don't want to go over the top with things that really someone wouldn't notice, and things that would drive up costs and overhead.
Okay, let's talk a kind of a generality, can we?
Sure.
Let's say, is it still true or false that the typical age of somebody coming in to get braces is around 6th, 7th, 8th grade? Has that changed, or is that still the standard?
You know, that's pretty true. 11 or 12 years old is typically when kids are getting all their permanent teeth, and so that tends to be the time when we initiate full treatment. Our national organization, the American Association of Orthodontics, recommends 7, but it's rare that we would do treatment at that age. That's more of a, hey, let's evaluate, let's see if there's anything going on that might need attention, but more of an exploratory sort of, let's look and try to project where things might be.
Okay, so I'm going to let you piggyback on that with your efficiency conversation, because he and I were talking a minute ago, and you mentioned how some kids will come in at an earlier age, but you want to make sure that they're mature enough to tackle what you're going to do for them. Otherwise, you're wasting parents' money.
Absolutely. So just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And it's not wrong to do early treatment. And there are some instances where irreversible damage is happening and that it's recommended to do something early. But generally speaking, unless there's a big benefit to doing something early on, then you're really just spending more time and more money because we know that we're going to need to do full treatment once all those teeth come in.
Right.
To my knowledge, there's not any treatment that we can do right now that will prevent someone from needing braces at 11 or 12 when all those teeth come in.
Right.
Maybe it'll reduce the time, but it's not going to prevent it. So we want to make sure that we're doing things that really have a benefit down the road and not just doing something because we can.
What about the adult patients? Are they a big part of your business now? People who want to invest back in themselves and give themselves that great smile?
Sure. And there's a lot of parents that come in that either their parents couldn't afford to give them treatment, when they were younger, which again is part of our reason for trying to reduce overhead and reduce costs so that more people can. But they'll come in after their kids are done, or they'll get them at the same time their kids are getting them. And so we're just so aware now of our smiles and our teeth and the health of our mouths. It's being more and more tied to our overall health in general, our oral health. So yeah, adults are a big part, and especially with Invisalign and aligner treatment where it's more discreet, a lot of adults are opting for treatment.
You were talking earlier too about the cost and giving up that family vacation to give your kids the braces. Y'all do in-house financing here?
Absolutely. No down or low down payments, 0% financing in-house. There are a bunch of different ways that we can set that up to try to make it affordable for as many people as we can.
So how do people access you then today? If they say, you know what, I've been putting this off, I want to go ahead and jump on this. Do they come in for a visit and just a consultation first?
That's one way. Of course, with the coronavirus shutdown, we've had to modify and we can do virtual consultations where people can send photos. We kind of certain photographs of teeth and from different angles that we can send as a model to you can take photos and text them to us or email them to us so we can at least have an idea before you come in, or come in, most people come in for a formal consultation where we can sit down and really I can show them in their own kid's mouth or in their own mouth exactly what's going on and then what the different options for treatment are.
It is one of the best things you'll ever do for yourself is to give you a smile that you can be proud of. So thank you so much for letting us head your way.
You bet. Thanks so much for coming.
Dr. Brad Jacobs and the whole staff here at Smile More Orthodontics. Again, we are at the location on Ottawa Ringgold Road. The phone number and address there on your screen. But you can go to any one of the 4 Smile More Orthodontics in the viewing area. They will be happy to get those pearly whites beaming for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Widomark Keith takes pride in protecting the rights of